Hello everybody, welcome back to Collocations for IELTS. As we have always told each other, collocations are very important if you want to score high in this test, be it the speaking version or the writing session. Without a strong sense of collocation, we cannot win the heart of examiners. And for that reason, today we are going to look at collocations on the topic of travel. Traveling is a very familiar topic, but have we been using proper collocations to talk about it, or have we been simply using separated words? First, in today's lesson, we are going to take a look at travel, journey, and trip to see what collocations there are for these three items. Then we'll move on to talk about flights. And finally, before we end, we'll take a look at accommodation. Now let's start with travel, journey, and trip. I'd like you to listen to 4 letters. Jane, have you made your travel arrangements for the sales conference yet? If you want a good travel agent, I can recommend Atlas World. They specialize in business travel. Their number is 258-7996. They're very helpful. Hi Mel, I'm finally here after an extremely tiring journey. The flight was 3 hours late, they lost my luggage, then there were no taxi at the airport. I hope my return journey is better. I'm at the Hotel Rex, room 1305. Hi Karen, I know next week is a business trip, but you must do some sightseeing too while you're here. I suggest we take a day trip to Kanamuka on Sunday. It's about 2 hours by car, and we can take a boat trip to the island in the middle of the lake and have lunch there. Looking forward to seeing you then Monday. Safe journey. Jane, I got some travel brochures with details of camping trips. Want to meet for lunch to look at them? One of them is in Chile, but it's a long overnight journey from the capital to get here, so maybe we should look nearer home. Nice to dream of holidays during work time. We've just listened to 4 letters. So what are the differences between travel, journey, and trip? Travel is a general word, while journey actually refers to the process of moving from places to places. And a trip is the occasion when you have to travel somewhere. Now let's recap all of the words that appeared in those 4 letters. Number 1, travel arrangements. Travel agent. Business travel. Tiring journey. Return journey. Business trip. A day trip. A boat trip. Safe journey. Travel brochures. Camping trip. Overnight journey. Now let's talk about flights. There are so many collocations that can be used to talk about flights. Now we are going to see some of them. Number 1, in-flight entertainment. That means entertainment that takes place during the flight. In-flight means during the flight. For example, Polaire offers excellent in-flight entertainment with the latest films and music. Similarly, we have an in-flight magazine, which means a magazine that you can read during the flight. You see, in front of you, at the back of the front seat, you will see in-flight magazines or books, which you can take out and read. For example, the in-flight magazine includes maps and information about major airports. We can also talk about the seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelt. This is a very common phrase to hear on any flight. Passengers, please fasten your seatbelts. You often hear the captain calling this out. Now, moving on to the word plane, we can say to board a plane, which means to get on the plane. A board, we understand it as a physical object that helps people to go from a lower area to a higher level. And in the past, people used to come up a ship through a board. And ever since, the verb board has been used to describe the process of getting on a plane or getting on a ship, to board a plane. For example, the passenger boarded the plane on time, but it was delayed taking off, and she missed her connecting flight in Amsterdam. And in this example, we have also seen the word connecting flight. The connecting flight is not the main flight. So you may book an air ticket to Paris, for example, but you cannot fly directly from Vietnam to Paris. You gotta stop somewhere. Maybe you stop at Hong Kong. So when you stop at Hong Kong, you take the next flight to Paris, and that will be called the connecting flight. Domestic flight. Domestic means inside a country, within the border of a country. For example, domestic flights are often more expensive than international ones. Talking about the seat, well, we have a window seat and an aisle seat. There isn't any need for an explanation, is there? A window seat is one that is next to a window where you can view the sky as you fly. And an aisle seat is one that is inside, next to an aisle, a walking aisle. So do you normally prefer a window seat or an aisle seat when you fly? I prefer an aisle seat. Then we can have a smooth fly or a bumpy flight. A smooth flight is one that takes place smoothly, and a bumpy flight is one that makes you want to vomit. So the weather en route is fine, and we anticipate a smooth flight to Stockholm today. I had a bumpy flight last night, and my body still hasn't recovered. So those are all of the words that we can use to talk about flights. Now let's move on to the final part of travel. Accommodation. There can be different ways to discuss accommodation. And when you have to talk about this, remember to use some of the phrases that follow right now. First example, we stayed in a small family-run hotel. Well, a family-run hotel is one that is run in a family, with the father as the owner of the hotel, the mother as his assistant, and the children helping out. For example, washing the bed sheets, changing bath robes, and replacing bathroom stuff. The Panorama is a rather run-down hotel. And a rundown hotel is one that is terrible in condition, with this horrible odor lingering everywhere in the atmosphere. Dark corridors leading to every room, insects everywhere, and the bed bugs under every bed sheet. And if you lie on them, the next morning you wake up with rashes all over. The Palace is a luxury hotel on the main square. And of course, luxury hotel means one that is of superb quality, expensive and fancy. As a student, I can't afford to stay in smart hotels. Smart here doesn't mean smart with the mind, but smart means fashionable. It looks nicely on the appearance. I always have to look for budget accommodation. Whenever we hear the word budget, that means cheap. We gotta look for budget accommodation. As I travel alone to different conferences in the world, I always look for budget accommodation. When I go to Singapore, I look for hostel where I can stay in a boardroom with 8 other people who I've never met before. But it's cheap. I'd advise you to make a reservation before you go. And of course, to make a reservation means to book in advance. You can go to websites like booking.com or Pagoda to make a reservation. You can see before you come what the hotel looks like, what services there are available, what the charges can be, and you can pay before or afterwards. The hotels near the beach are very popular and get fully booked during the summer. If a hotel gets fully booked, that means there's no single vacant room left. And when you get there, you're gonna have to leave. So, that's enough for today's lesson on the topic of travel. I believe we have together learned a lot of useful collocations for this one topic. And the next time when you have to describe your journey somewhere, for example, or when you have to tell the story of a trip that you took in the past to your favorite country, or to a popular destination, or to your dreamland in the future, there's no need to worry anymore, because you can always use these words to make your answer highly competent. Thank you very much. I'm Tin from EMC. I'm happy to deliver these lessons to you free of charge. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.